everyone, and welcome back to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk about everything you and your friends are talking about at rehearsal on a water break. I'm Trish O'Shea. This week's episode, we are live, and we have some great guests and lots of news to discuss. We'll also find out what made Jackie say,
because what are they going to be doing the rest of the time? They're not pushing props 16 hours a day.
And why Joey said,
I am only 32, but I still don't understand technology, so
all this and more on this week's episode of On a Water Break.
8 off the mat and go. Welcome to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk everything marching arts.
Everyone, bring it in.
It's time for a water break.
Hey everyone, it's Trish. We have a great episode this week. So before we start, let's see who's on the sidelines this week. But before we do that, go and subscribe on your favorite listening app. Write us a review. Share this with a friend. If you got a question or a good topic to talk about, email us at onawaterbreakpodcast@gmail.com or find us on social media and DM us if you want to be on the show. We even have a form now to fill out if you want to be a guest. Check it out at our link in bio. So who's on the sidelines this week? I know Jack. Oh, I will do that. Okay. So we have well, let's do this. Let's do this before we even introduce them. Let's take the time to preview some amazing episodes of bonus content that we have going on. Our own grantees will be interviewing a marching arts person from the Philippines. Jackie and Stephanie did a fantastic interview with University of Alabama, Alta Maria Guard Director Brandy Keaton. An exclusive interview with the couple from Tampa Independent who got engaged during WGI Guard World Class Retreat. Siblings Piper and Avery Click joined us for a preview of their upcoming summer with the Blue Devils and Alicia's special episode on size in the marching arts. Now, we've left them on the sidelines for long enough, but joining us for this live is Winter Guard, Marching Band Color Guard Judge, National Anthem Singer Extraordinaire, Ashley Delgado de Amore.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Ashley. Welcome to the show.
Hi. Happy to be here.
Awesome. And we have Sharon Boyd, a.k.a. the real band mom. Welcome, Sharon.
Thanks for having me.
So excited to have you both here. Okay, as you may or may not know, we have a feature called the 32 Count Life Story. We'll give each of you 8 off the Met. Tell us everything you can from the beginning to this moment right here. Are you guys ready? Ashley, are you ready? Okay, okay, great. We're going to give you 8 off the Met and go. Ready?
Okay, so I was born in Central New Jersey. I'm a Jersey girl through and through. I grew up in the arts, theater, marching band as well, color guard. And I taught at South Brunswick High School for a really, really long time after marching there. And then I got married. I have a 2-year-old and she's wonderful and she has a future in the marching arts. And I work as a science specialist in Central New Jersey. And now here I am on the podcast with all of you because I got into judging after I stopped teaching.
Yay! Awesome.
Tried to hit it all.
Okay, and welcome everybody, Joey, to the podcast. Hi, Joey. Uh-oh. All right. Well, like Jeremy said before, we're going to forget about them for a minute, okay? Because it is Sharon's turn to do her 32 Count Life Story. Sharon, are you ready? 8 off the Met.
Oh, I'm so scared. Yes.
No, just go for it.
Okay. So I'm the band mom. I accidentally grew a social media channel about band stuff. So here I am running with it. And I've got 4 kids. They were all in junior high band, 3 marched high school, 1's marching college, music ed major. We've done drum corps. We've had kids in Guardians, Blue Stars, Blue Devils. I've got a kid aging out of PD this year. I never played an instrument, but I always loved marching band. So I've done a ton of volunteer work. I sing at church, if that counts. That's my only musical thing that I do. But yeah, my day job's communications, and I'm a Texan that now lives in Arkansas.
Yes. See, you were both nervous and you both nailed it. Perfect. And finally, everybody finally decided to show up for rehearsal tonight. I mean, come on. I mean, 9 o'clock means 8:45, people. You know how it goes. Y'all are late. What is going on? I mean, do you always 5 and 5 now? Like, what's going on? What do we do?
I've got that senioritis. That's what's going on right now.
Oh.
That'll do it.
It's the end of the season. It's past, the season's done. No, I was freaking out. You guys saw me in the text chat. I was, I can't figure. I am only 32, but I still don't understand technology. So when it's like, hey, reboot this, get the Wi-Fi that, I need tech support. How do I get an assistant? Can I get an assistant? Is that in the on a water break budget? Oh, that's a no.
I was going from one rehearsal to the other.
Jackie's not captain this week, so she figured, I don't have to start the stretches. I can get there whenever.
I had to teach the middle school rehearsal this week, so I was going from middle school rehearsal to here. It's impossible to get out of there. I have to answer 87 questions about why the pole is showing out of the end of the flag where it's supposed to be showing.
All right, so Joey, Jackie, meet Ashley and Sharon, aka the real band moms. So, do you guys have any questions for them before we turn it over to the hosting duties to Joey?
Well, can we just start with the band mom? So see you all over the Instagrams and the TikToks and the whatnot. I mean, I don't know if we've already covered it, but how did that get started? How'd that get going?
So, yeah, I didn't even have TikTok until maybe right after COVID. I don't know, but the first year my son was in DCI, he was second year DCI. They had spoon props that they slid down. Was that Blue Star? Was that Blue Stars? Yeah,
that was
went
Blue
down
Stars.
These spoon props and did
Cynthia.
So anyway, posted it. Woke up the next day, had 1.5 million views on it, and I was like, "Oh heck, I need to apologize to my kid that I posted him on the internet," and he went viral overnight. Anyway, the next summer, I got laid off from work. I had no work. I was unemployed. I was looking for a job, and we were going into that DCI season, and I thought, you know what? Let's see if I can get some more 1.5 million views, and did a few of them. And next thing I knew, I had a pretty strong channel, and then I thankfully had a job again. So I've just kind of been keeping it going on the side. But yeah, it was a complete accident. And I'm just trying to not embarrass my kids.
I think it's awesome, and I think the perspective you have, I think, is really important. And so, I was really excited to jump on, and I was really freaking out, being late to rehearsal today because I really wanted to get into this with you. I thought it was so cool.
You're sweet. Yeah, I get weirded out every now and then. Go ahead, Jackie.
I'm freaking out because I follow you on your socials too, and I'm also a Blue Star alum. So that was actually the first reel that I saw of yours on Instagram was about the Blue Stars, and I was just like, oh hey.
Yep. Yeah, it's weird now when I go in public. I'm in public all the time. When I go to band contests, every now and then some kid will just walk up to me like, "Hey, band mom," and I have to turn it.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't put my face on a lot of the videos, and it's on purpose. It's not about me. It's about the kids. And so when they do see me and know me, I'm like, oh, it's weird, but it's so fun. I give them a sticker or something. So
that's what it feels like, though. I feel like my normal everyday life is just not in public at all. And then you go to a competition or some, event or a camp or whatever, and you're like, oh, I'm in public now all of a sudden. Go to a show.
Yeah, it almost feels like you're on the red carpet sometimes. You're just like, okay, I gotta make sure I'm on because now everybody is now here on a Saturday. It's like I have to have my clothes right. I've got to make sure I say the right words. It's an interesting perspective. And then I have one just as a judge to judge Ashley. How'd you get started into judging? This is always something that's really interesting to me is how people get started and where that kind of how you get to become an Ashley D'Amore. Is that correct?
D'Amore.
D'Amore. Okay, my
D'Amore. It's very,
okay.
NJ Italian Jersey girls.
I love it.
Yeah. So I started judging, I guess it's about 6 years ago. So I actually trialed right before COVID was like my first year, my trialing year.
Back in
I
the WGI certified days, right?
back in those days, and I was just starting out, and so I didn't even get there at that time, and but I marched at South Brunswick High School for my high school career, and then I taught there. I was their choreographer for years and years and years and years, and I started to want to make that switch a little bit. Also, I was in the process of trying to have my daughter, who we now have, and it was just a natural progression into trying to get into something new because I still love this activity so much, but wanted to approach it in a different way. So I started reaching out to a few of the people that I knew that were judges, and they kind of got me on that track. And then since then, I have taken the classes. I've gone. I'm a musical theater kid. I'm a dance kid, so I'm a trained dancer. That's what I did before I got into color guard. So I had that technical part of it. So it was a natural progression to kind of go into that movement vein, which is my bread and butter. That's the caption I love more than anything else in the world. But then now, since then, I have learned the general effect caption. So you might see me on either one, indoor, outdoor. I'm on color guard. I'm on visual effects sometimes. So exploring that and expanding that. And this year I actually got to travel for the first time. So I was out in California, down in Florida. So it was just a matter of reaching out to people that I knew. And then they helped me get in contact with the people that could help me start training and getting my foot into there. And now hopefully I can do that for other people to help them get into it if they're interested. So
That's exciting. I think that's the hard part of, I think like a Wes Pendergrass or somebody put on Facebook how hard it is to get into this world now. You kind of have to, it seems like now you've got to be social media driven, or you've got to know somebody, or there's got to be that connection, or that, kind of what you're talking about, where it's, hey, there's this opportunity here. You should go do this. Hey, there's an opportunity there. Like I know of one in Atlanta this coming up like this week in May. There's Chip Krotz, Richard Saucedo. They're doing a Georgia marching band judge training. Like I've been sharing that link with as many people as I can, because I think there's a lot of brilliant voices that can't teach everywhere. Like how do you get them to get connected? I think that's so cool.
Yeah. And I think the important part is building that connection, right? So everyone that I've met has been really open to helping each other build that. So hopefully now, as a member of that community, I can also be that open component too to help folks. So yeah.
That's awesome. That's all a family. We want everybody to eat. We want everybody at the table.
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we're gonna cut to a quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back.
Celebrating its 25th anniversary, Guard Closet was founded as a consignment shop in 2000. Since then, it has grown to become your one-stop shop for the marching arts.
Do you need consignment uniforms and flags for your color guard, marching band, or drumline? We have thousands of sets of consignments in stock and ready to ship.
Do you need show design and custom choreography? Our designers have years of experience in the marching arts.
Do you need to sell your items and clear out your storage areas? We take in more than 600 sets of consignments each year and return hundreds of thousands of dollars to our consigners for their sales.
Do you need to have your students order shoes, gloves, and other equipment? We can set up a microsite for easy student ordering of a wide variety of items.
Do you need custom costumes or flags? We can help get you great designs from our team through top vendors like Show Day Designs.
Have you listened to our podcast On a Water Break? Weekly episodes and bonus content keep you entertained and informed with what's going on in the marching arts.
For over 25 years, Guard Closet has been here to help. Check us out at guardcloset.com or follow us on social media.
Okay, we're back. Excited to have everybody here. This is the part of the show where we talk about the news. Does anybody have any news they'd be willing to share?
I've got some news.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, last week, Carolina Crown came out with a position it looked like they had listed, what was called a field crew, something like that. In the description, it called it a voluntary role. And they wanted $1,700 to sign up to be on the field crew. So I initially had a really gut reaction and kind of talked it out with my husband. He played devil's advocate a little bit. I'm like, okay, I could see why someone maybe want to do it, but I'm not writing a check for $1,700 for my kid to go be on a field crew and work and not march. So yeah, that caused quite the stink. And here's the thing, and I read between the lines because I've worked in communications for over a decade. Okay, so I'm watching this and watching them reply with the follow-up post where they paused this, and I think the word they used was reassess or reevaluate. They didn't say they weren't going to do it. Okay, so I'm just kind of watching this to see if they're waiting for things to digest. And then I don't know. I don't know if they worked with comms people to do crisis management after this or not. It might just be the way they worded it, somebody volunteering. But I'm watching it because I think unless some rules are made at DCI level, probably it'll happen again. So I don't know. Thoughts? What do y'all think?
But okay, here's my thoughts. So do we think that there was a world in which, say, for example, my last year of drum corps was the first year I met my boyfriend. Okay, he has no background in the marching arts whatsoever, never even knew it existed before he met me. But he traveled a lot with me that summer. Don't we think that there's a world in which they envisioned somebody like that doing that wanted to be a part of Carolina Crown, but had no marching arts experience whatsoever, maybe was a significant other of somebody in the corps that was like, hey, I would love to do it, but I can't march, I can't spin, I can't play an instrument. Don't we think that there's a world in which we envision that being offered to that type of person?
Don't we have something like that for the people that want to volunteer? Because I have some college students that I keep up with in band, and they've been looking for intern roles, right, to tour with some of these corps, to just learn from the sidelines, maybe work the merch booths, maybe do whatever stuff needs to be done, and they get paid for it. So that's when where's that line drawn?
Well, so this is where I think the word volunteer definitely is the where a lot of the struggle is coming from. I think if they had removed that and been very clear that I feel like from what I saw and what we see Carolina Crown doing, they're looking for people to move props during the show as well. That takes from that 156 number, so they're technically a student on that front. Volunteers, in my opinion, shouldn't have been on that press release, and then that could have been towards, your theater
Correct.
people, I think this was just wrong words. And then, when this happens in our activity, when something like this happens, people are very quick to talk about it, advocate. That's what I do appreciate about the activity. I think Crown has some, management to do on this the situation, and I'm curious to see what they do. But I mean, prop movers are not out of the norm. I just think this is the first time that Crown said that this is exactly what they're doing, but didn't word it right.
And you're exactly right. If that word volunteer had not been in there, I don't think we'd be having this conversation. I think that was the only reason.
That was the big hubbub.
The thing is, though, don't you go to drum corps to get the really good musical training and to get the really good visual training and to get the really good color guard training, the athletic training? So what else are these people going to be doing? I assume they're going to be doing all the athletic training, but are they also musicians? Can they sit in on the brass blocks? Can they actually spin with the color guard? Just to get the training? Maybe they're not in the show. Because what are they going to be doing the rest of the time? They're not pushing props 16 hours a day.
Yeah. I think it would be, I think this is, so for me, drum corps was not I get to go out and I get to do this thing. I really saw it as an investment into the future in this. And so I was making
Mhm.
connections during drum corps. Like I would talk to people. I talked to the drum major here. I talked to the brass caption there, the horn sergeant, and I made connections during my marching time. I think something like this is for that savvy. Like I want to be a core admin at some point. I want to be a props facility manager. Like I think that's who this is for. That's not a volunteer, and that's also because they're trying to use it during the show. That's not like again volunteer. What shouldn't have been in that. I do know that at Carolina Crown there are a couple of people on the admin team that are strictly like when they go back home they're theater people. Like one of them's into event management stuff where like they have all the trusses get set up and that's their job. I could see them being interested in this, but they're already on the admin team. Like this, like that could have been something to offer. I just don't know that she's aged out already, but I think that's who like would benefit from something like this as well. Sharon, you had something?
Yeah, and I think we need to keep in mind too, you could easily pay just a little bit more if you really wanted to be getting the experience and joining an open class corps like Zephyrus in Oklahoma. It's brand new, it's small, the fees are low, they're expanding more every year, and I don't know what the fees are, but I could probably drop an extra $500 or help a kid fundraise for that and March, a show. And so I think you just have to look at what you want to get out of it, because if it's just the experience, being on the sidelines for a top corps might not be what you think it is, where you would actually get to do that with up class.
But is Zephyrus looking for people who have absolutely no experience whatsoever?
I mean, some of those corps, like I remember being at some of those low corps, and when at least when I was marching, they were like, "Oh, you have a heartbeat? We got a baritone hole," and so like I remember talking to some of my friends the years before. They would pick up people on the road. Like I remember specifically in 2012 that we did the Indiana parade, and we saw this Ben Davis High School was there, and we were like, "Hey, we have a mellow hole. Does anybody want to?" And they were there at move-ins with us like a week later. So I don't know. I think there's a lot, but we're talking about Crown. Let's keep it going, Jackie. You got something?
Yeah. So speaking of Crown, I don't know if you guys have watched anything in the news about Coachella, but Matt Harloff went to Coachella and like he took a group of students from Crown. There was a whole bunch of students from an HBCU, and like they performed at Coachella. You might as well call it Crownchella. I mean. So it was really cool. He's also the Avon band director, in case anybody doesn't know that connection there, from Avon High School in Indiana, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I mean, like, there's those memes that are going around that Harloff got off the plane from Coachella to do Avon retreat with them, and you can see him. He's like walking out there, and it's like a slow motion movie. Like he just got back from space, and the astronauts are behind him. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, I'm really excited. Nicole Younger and I are going to be interviewing him here in the next couple of days, and we'll see that content up shortly. Sharon, what you got? Oh, I think you're on mute.
Whoops. Okay. I was going to say, we keep forgetting to mention that HBCU band that was down there too, to perform with all, you got like a merge of all the cultures and the different band families down there. And it's, as someone that went to my first HBCU contest, that was really cool. So I thought that was fun that they brought them together.
Yeah, absolutely. It's cool. It's cool when these worlds collide. And, I like that, a pop icon like this has marching band people in it, and we kind of get that exposure. I think that's dope. Let's keep pushing through.
By the way, I did learn the hard way in HBCU world. Band bomb is a bad term. Apparently, it's basically. So anyway, I learned that.
What are they? Do you know?
A band bomb is a Karen.
Oh.
No.
Oh, anyway, no, I know.
And you're like, I have it on shirts and stickers. Like, that's funny. Well, I'll know not to
what do
say
they
that.
call the parents?
Yeah, what do they call the band
You know
parents?
that they're.
I don't know. That was my first contest to go to. I don't know.
And they said, take that shirt off. That's not.
I'm gonna have to text Greg and ask him.
Yeah, I'd like to know. I don't want to say the wrong thing. Trish, you got any news for us?
I do. So the Spartans Drum and Bugle Corps released their 2025 show announcement the other day. Their show is called Mystica. However, on the social media posts where they announced it, readers blew up the comments when they realized that the art was created using AI. So I have a really good friend
who's not used Canva.
I know. I have a really good friend who's on the admin team who spent all last week doing damage control on this. The designer felt terrible. He felt terrible that the kids were the brunt of that. So they redid it, and it looks really, really nice now. But what? Just so so unfortunate that that happens, and I mean, they released it. They were so excited about releasing the show title and everything, and then all the comments were, "Why do better, Spartans? Why was this created in AI?" But it's all good. Everything they redid it. The comments were very positive over the redo. Good for you changing it up and whatever.
It was a social media post. It wasn't props of faces rolling out on the field. Not that I mentioned.
No. It was a social media post. Yep.
We're not calling anybody out on that one either.
I use AI all the time with work, and it doesn't prevent me from, doing real work. And, as someone that's worked in comms, I use it to correct things, help me reword things. I'm prompting things. And AI is one of these, there's a gray line. It's not a hard, instant, you're stealing something. Because let's think about Randy Travis for a second. I don't know if y'all saw the Rolling Stone article they did a while back on him. He and his family are purposely using AI to help him continue to sing and publish music by using his voice. And so it's not always bad. And I think you get a few bad actors online that just want to gripe about stuff. And you're using Canva to make a social media post. It's really not that big.
Just want to jump in for a minute because we had a viewer comment on YouTube that from the Roundup podcast. It says, "Don't forget about marching all age." I would never. I had the best experiences marching all age DCA back then. I was in the Bushwhackers. I was in the Syracuse Brigadiers. The Brigadiers Winter Guard's coming back out this year. All good stuff. I would never forget about all age. It's one of my favorites. If you remember back when we started this podcast, I had the DCA dish, all that good stuff. You'll hear more about it coming up. I had a bunch of kids at Cabs auditions last weekend. I got a lot of dish from that. So you'll be hearing way more about it. Don't worry about it. We got all age covered. Don't even worry.
Awesome. Ashley, do you got any news for us?
Yes. So some more exciting news. And I think any news that is putting the marching arts even further in the spotlight is great news. So Reeths-Puffer High School out of Michigan actually is the subject of a new documentary that's being released. And it's called In Our Eyes. And it's premiering in Michigan. It premiered actually on April 16th, but it's intended to kind of lift the curtain on what marching bands really do, especially in high school, since it kind of falls within that, we go to the football games and they do a great job. But as all of us know, it's so much deeper than that. And so to have a high school group have that opportunity, especially a group that has been so successful in the marching arts, have that opportunity, it kind of follows their journey through rehearsals all the way out through Grand Nationals in Indiana.
What is that? How can we watch that?
I'm looking at it right now because I want to give the best information. I don't see a specific. There is definitely a YouTube link available, but I'm not seeing a specific place where it may stream. Because there's a YouTube trailer. It says it will be available for streaming, but not a specific streaming place yet.
Yeah. When we get that info, we'll either we'll tag that in this episode, or we'll put it in the show notes for sure.
Yeah, it's just super cool for them to be able to have that experience.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've got a news story if y'all are down for it. It's something really exciting to me. It's really hard for me to explain this to kids sometimes. So, Ultimate Drillbook has launched their listening zones feature, which is like, it is literally just showing kids like, hey, you can't listen. You're not in this space. Hey, you can listen. You're in this space. Hey, you're probably going to need to do this. Like there was a little app that was on my iPhone for a couple of years. It was probably like 10 years ago that essentially did the math of how many 30-second notes you needed to play ahead if you were this far behind the hash. And it's like, no one has that kind of control. So Ultimate Drillbook doing this, just kind of going through a list of their features. They call it the key aspects of the listening zone. Is the visual guidance. Directors can mark specific performers or sections on the UDBapp drill charts to indicate who students should be listening to. I think that's absolutely awesome. There's some improved ensemble awareness. This feature helps students understand the flow of music and where to listen for cues, promoting better timing and coordination. Enhanced timing. By focusing on specific performers, students can better understand the timing of the music and adjust their playing accordingly. And then they're talking about this versatile application. The listening zones can be used throughout the marching band season, from everything from like basic work blocks to final runs. And if you go to their Facebook, there's like videos of them doing this. I think this is an absolute game changer. And those of us that subscribe to the Pro version, it's already integrated into that space. I just think that's so cool. I think this is those of us that have been talking about the formula and been like, feats with beats with the hand, all that stuff. Now it's literally spelled out for us. I like giggled and I got super like giddy when I saw this.
I love your enthusiasm for it, and I also love your description, because honestly, when I saw the ads for it, I thought it was something completely different. Now, keep in mind, I'm a color guard person, so it completely out of context. But yeah, that is really, really cool.
Yeah, like them understanding that they can only listen to this part of the battery rather than but the bass drum's right behind me. I'm like, yeah, but the bass drums are not the snare line, which is pushing, not pushing that. And I just think I freaked out. And I like just trying to figure out.
I bet there's some AI in that program somewhere.
That's so.
I think it's, there's got to be something in there, and it's not all bad. I kind of wanted to talk about that earlier. I was like, I don't think it's all bad. It's definitely a tool, and if we use it well, it makes our jobs easier. And this is something that like it would make all of our lives easier, in my opinion. Just having to like teach kids about, you're on the 20, the melodies on the other 20. You can't listen to that. But that's where we're at today. I'm going to wrap this up, and I want to kind of throw to Jackie here. Jackie, would you happen to maybe possibly kind of sort of most likely definitely have a travel tip for us?
I do. So it is time for your Peak Group Travel Tip of the Week, brought to you by our sponsors at Peak Group Travel, helping you navigate your next adventure, whether it's across the country or just to your next competition.
Hi everyone, it's time for your travel tip of the week with me. I'm Beth with Peak Group Travel. Are you traveling with delicate or oversized instruments? Be sure to check with your bus company or your airline for any extra fees that you may incur or any climate-specific needs you have for your instruments. A little extra legwork before you leave could help you avoid costly repairs when you arrive. Don't forget to like and follow Peak Group Travel on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and be sure to email info@peakgrouptravel.com when you're ready to start planning your next performance tour. I'm Beth with Peak Group Travel and your travel tip of the week. Ready to elevate your travel game? Welcome to Peak Group Travel, the ultimate adventure creators. Whether you're planning an unforgettable class trip, a once-in-a-lifetime parade experience for your marching band, or a choir tour full of memorable performance venues, Peak Group Travel handles it all, so you can focus on making memories. From breathtaking international destinations to amazing adventures right here at home, Peak Group Travel customizes every journey to your vision. We're not just planners, we're your partners for the trip you want for your students. Our online registration portal makes managing your pre-trip experience smooth and convenient. We even collect your payments if you'd like. Picture it, effortless planning, unmatched experiences, and smiles that last long after the journey ends. That's the Peak Group Travel difference. And if you choose to partner with Peak on your next tour, and you mention that you heard about us on the On a Water Break podcast, you'll earn a $100 trip credit. Discover why groups everywhere trust Peak Group Travel. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and be sure to visit peakgrouptravel.com today. You pick the date, and we'll make it great.
Okay, everyone, it's time for the 60-second tech block. This is the segment where one of our hosts or guest clinicians, we already know who it is put on the spot to deliver a non-stop 60-second tech session on a topic that needs some serious attention after the last run. Our special tech this week has come prepared with 3 topics that they think they can talk about for a full 60 seconds. No hesitation, no pauses, just pure technical gold. And this week, let's see. Ashley, you ready to do it?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. So do you have a couple of ones that we can choose from?
Yeah, so I have 3 topics that you guys can choose from. So the first topic that I think I could talk about for 60 seconds is how to support breath development in young performers. So the idea of breath through the body, all of that good stuff. The second is how to teach performers, newer performers, and or non-dancing new performers how to dance or how to move a little bit. And then the third is, what are dynamic efforts and qualities?
The so scary. Those
What do you
words
guys
are
think?
outtakes
Which
too
one do you
much.
want her to do? What do you
Should we
guys want
just
to
go-
hear about?
I want to
I
know
don't
about the
know.
dancing because I need to know if I can learn that.
I'm kind of into the dancing too. The dynamic efforts is something that's got me really hyped too. Jackie, you got a preference? Oh no, muted. Jackie muted.
See, I'm not used to not hosting. That's the problem here.
There it is. It's okay.
I'm just always off mute. No, I think number 1 is the last thing I learned as a guard instructor. So I know we're voting all across the board. What do our followers over on YouTube say?
Yeah. What do they got, Jeremy? We have a live correspondent, Jeremy. Jeremy, how are we feeling out there with the people?
I just checked and I see nothing from anybody on this. So
Look,
I think it's up to us.
I'm going to swap and go to the dynamic thing. What is the dynamic thing? I don't know what it is.
Let's go. I'm doubling down. Let's do number 3. That's a
Number
mouthful, and critique is always terrifying. So let's do number 3. Okay, everybody. So we picked it. Ashley, are you ready?
I am ready.
Sharon, you have your phone.
Here's my watch.
60-second tech block. Sharon,
Yes.
that is so funny. I can't get over it.
Sharon's
Do you have a
watch,
five?
everybody.
Yes.
You got it on
But I
your
have
watch?
to-
Okay.
Ready?
Okay, you ready?
Ready, go.
Okay, so dynamic qualities or efforts are something that no doubt you've heard on an adjudicator recording at some time throughout. And really what it is, it's what you consider when you're selecting vocabulary, when you're selecting choreography, and what the intent is of those selections. And from a student lens, it's thinking about how they really bring out kind of the contrast in each of the movement
30
qualities
seconds.
or the equipment qualities in the through their body. So it could include the changes in time, acceleration, deceleration, rhythm and syncopations. It could be space when they're taking up a large space or in constricted space. It could be shape, whether they're individual body shapes, high and low, or making group shapes. And it's the way that folks move. Gravity, suspension, big, small, and then how that changes over time.
Wow.
You did it, yes.
But now
that was awesome.
Get invented during 60
focused on keeping time, and I still don't know what it does.
We're just gonna have to go back and watch the episode, or kind of dive into a little bit more.
Put it on 0.5x.
Yeah. Ashley, how'd you feel that went?
I mean, I tried to deliver as much as I could because it's pretty big. I actually, to be honest, at Critique, I usually have a graphic that I put out on the table specific to dynamic qualities, because I know downstairs it's a question that a lot of folks have when they come to the table because they hear us say it, but then they see how it's broken down and like what I mean when I'm making that commentary. So I think I got most of it, but I could talk about that for way more than 60 seconds.
Can we save the dancing part for another episode, please?
Yeah.
We'll do a whole dance episode, and I can.
Yes.
I was just gonna say, can we get that graphic like in a link that we could maybe share in our show notes later?
Maybe, yeah, I could put something together for you.
That's awesome. That is so cool. I'm like, we could sit and talk about all three of those, but we're gonna move on. You guys ready for what are we doing? That was really dope.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
All right, what are we doing? This is the part of the show where we let loose a little bit. Not like we haven't been letting loose already. This is your chance, though, to rant about anything in the marching arts that doesn't make sense to you. Maybe it's a tradition needs to go. Maybe it's a habit that performers can't seem to break. Maybe it's something that makes you think, what? Why are we even doing this? Or why haven't we started doing this? Maybe it's the word volunteer in a press release. Whatever it is, this is your moment to call it out. So who's got something to get off their chest?
Yeah. Why aren't we seeing indoor brass as much as we are indoor percussion and indoor color guard and WGI? Like, I'm new to this whole WGI stuff, and
I was going to say she's new here.
Okay, I must be new, or I must be in regions where there aren't a lot of it, and so it just surprises me that it's not as common as some of the other ones are. But
it's new too. Like, it's a new part of our activity. It only what is it since like
it's a decade maybe at the most.
Yeah, I don't even think it's been that long. It's really quite new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty young. I think I can't remember the first year, but I think we're within our first decade of this happening. And so it's starting to grow. More and more groups are coming. This is actually the first year in Dayton where they had to turn groups away from champs, which is really exciting. Yes, we met our cap at Truist, and so it's great for the organization. It's great for the idiom. It's where percussion was about 20 years ago. So like, had this been 20 years ago, you would have been saying, why aren't we seeing percussion in the same amount that we're seeing guard? And it's like, well, percussion just started. That's kind of where we're at. But oh my gosh, is it flourishing? Groups from California came out to Dayton. There were some Texas groups that came out. I mean, it is really, really growing. And so I'm a Winds guy. That's kind of my thing. I started a Winds group out here in North Carolina. My brother actually just brought his out from Wichita, Kansas, called ICT Winds. It's growing. It's just, I think like marching vlogs is starting to share stuff, but it's not like there's not a marching vlogs for Winds yet. I can't wait for that to happen.
Arkansas's first WGI contest was actually a Winds and percussion contest. There was no color guard there, and I actually got to go to it because it conveniently aligned with the trip. But yeah, so I got to see the Winds and percussion, and I just didn't realize it wasn't that common.
Yeah, it's growing, and they're in Arkansas. I could say that those groups are starting to sprout. And they're coming out. They got cool stuff. Like there was like a cool electronic blue show that went. That was pretty neat. By the end of the season, it really came together. But no, I'm with you. I want as many eyes on Winds as possible. Ashley, do you got what are we doing for us?
So I do, and it's something that I see all the time. Why do some folks not practice getting on and off the floor and or field?
Because, I mean, show days are stressful enough.
And I mean that with love. I just see so many performers get rattled by it then in a show, or they get rattled during the show and then forget they have to leave.
Right.
That there's that piece of like making sure that when you're taking those last few runs, and this is indoor and outdoor, not exclusive, that there's that chance to go over that, because I really think it does impact performance sometimes. Like that setup, it seems silly, but that could be the reason that then a poor kiddo has a really rough run. And I would see it sometimes and be like, take the minute to just do it. Ever.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. We did a what are we doing earlier about setting the floor crooked at Champs. Like it's your final run in Dayton, and your floor is
askew.
Yeah, and it's like, and then we talk about like, how do you choose between these hundreds of points, who's better or worse? And it's like, well, maybe that perspective, changed some things for us. Like it made the drill a little bit dirty because that orientation was different. Like if you're not working on that consistency, that's something we talked about. If that's inconsistent, what else might be inconsistent in rehearsal? That process of getting on and off is just part of professionalism. And while that's not on any of our judging sheets, it's essentially like what we look for. Recovery and all those things are learned skill sets. So and is this.
And I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think too, it is timed. Like in especially indoor, I think about it, it's a little bit more strict there sometimes than it is outdoor in other capacities because it's a little bit longer, but it's timed. So even though it's not on my sheet, I'm not talking about how you get on or off, but my dad happens to be a timing and penalty judge.
I was just going to jump in and say that.
And it is part of his criteria.
A lot of that is handled by Ashley's dad.
Send a quick text.
So, you'll get those moments. And if I'm the chief that day and my dad's like, I got to talk to you. And I'm like, great. So, so that's my what are we doing?
Practice getting on and off. It just makes things so much better.
Just add it.
Yeah.
Because it'll make your kiddos feel better. It'll make your performers feel better too.
It's all about consistency and comfortability. Trish, you got what are we doing for us?
Sure. What are we doing, these drum corps? What are we doing waiting so long to announce your show? Like, we're already hyped.
We need to know.
I already have my Allentown tickets. Like, I'm already hyped. You don't need to suck me in. But just tell us what you're doing already. Get us even more hyped. You know what I mean? Like, we want to know. Like, I want to know what I'm going to see this summer. I don't know. I mean, you have like the corps, like the Blue Coats, will announce it literally seconds before they go on the field.
And Troopers is announcing it's like before they've got through with finals the year before.
Mm-hmm.
They're telling us the theme, but they're not really telling us the rep a lot. Or the opposite way. They're telling us the rep, but not telling us the theme a lot of times. So, it's just, I want to hear. I want to know. I'm excited. I want to know what everybody's doing this summer.
Yeah, I've always thought that this is really interesting because people say it's like, oh, we want to keep our competitive advantage. And I might just be naive and young and not really understand what that could, if somebody knows that my show is called Yankee Doodle Dandy, like, what are they going to do with that, And most of my shows are just weird, like, puns anyway. So, like, I do Shipwrecked, and it's about a UPS truck breaking down. Like, who's going to take that from me? And maybe I'm just weird in that way, but, like...
I need the YouTube link to that. If that's a real thing. Yeah.
Well, that mystery worked out real well this winter, didn't it? Because then keeping those Hope shows a secret really worked out this winter, huh?
That's what I was going to say. Is like, I feel like it only benefits you to announce your show early, to be like, this is our show and I'm claiming it. And like anybody else who's wanting to do that same show, that's a copy.
I agree.
Don't do a Beetlejuice show if I'm doing a Beetlejuice show. Yeah. And to answer your question, Sharon, I haven't done it yet. That's just like one that I throw on. I'm trying to do a Minion show called A Million Reasons. It's the music of Lady Gaga. But we're working on that.
So cute.
Quintal Shaw, big shout out to you, buddy. I do have one called Beauty, what was it called? Beauty and the Bees or something like that. And it was the music of Beauty and the Beast, but told in this idea that everybody in the castle was a bee. And as silly as it was real cute. It was a lot of fun, and kids got to buzz around all the time, and so it was awesome. Buzz me all you want, but
he's gonna do monkeys in space, but it hasn't happened. I keep waiting though.
Send me your rep. We'll make it happen. I got a group. We'll make it work. If they won't do minions, they'll do monkeys, and that's on baby. I don't know. I mean, I guess my what are we doing right now is what are we doing? Like, what do you do during this time? As I'm a full-time designer, and so like I'm kind of in a weird space right now where I have to write drill by Monday for a group that won't start learning it until August. Like, what are we doing that? What do you need it for right now?
I can answer that.
What am I supposed to do with this time? Go ahead, hit me with it.
My color card needs it like right now.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Oh, like to choreograph and stuff? I see that.
Yes. Yeah, because if you think about it, like the band gets their music and they get to start learning their music because it's all written out there before they have the drill. But like the color guard, depending on how you write, it's really hard to learn choreography, or you have to make a lot of changes if you learn choreography before the drill happens. So
it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
I always
I will say that drill
get it earlier.
Drill writers, yeah, I will say that drill writers and color guard choreographers have the worst jobs because everybody else, like the arrangers, have been working since December. The aesthetics have been working since February. The drill writers given the music and the soundtrack and saying, "All right, well, we need this on Monday," and it's like it's Thursday. What are you talking about?
Right.
The color guard director then needs on Monday gets the drill, and Monday afternoon they have to teach choreography. Like that's just a pain in the butt.
I have until Thursday,
Hey, maybe you should use some AI and speed it up a little bit.
Oh,
you could just AI all of our drill.
Great job, everyone. Set your equipment down. Gush and go.
All right, that's our producer Jeremy saying we're getting too catty. We're moving on. Do you guys want to do some gush and goes? You guys got anything to gush and go about? This is
of course.
Is everybody familiar with Gush and Go? I can go into this, or we could I'm ready to go off, honestly.
Yeah,
Trish, you got something?
Let's do it. Yeah. So I'm on break this week from school, and it's been amazing. But no rest for the weary for the marching arts because my high school kids are not on break. They were on break last week. So we had our little Northern Valley end of season dinner Tuesday night. And then no rest for the weary. We had a little marching band open house today. I did not stick around for the ice cream because I wanted to get home and make sure this was all set up. But it's been a really good break, and toss in a little marching arts, and we're good.
I love it. Yeah, there's never not something happening.
No,
and that's just kind of the name of the game. Ashley, would you happen to have a gush and go?
Sure. So the off season for me is honestly practicing. I don't usually judge in the summer. I take it off. I have almost 2.5-year-old. So it's Delta time now. Time with my husband, time with my daughter. That's but really it's training time because she has a flag now that she bought that I bought for her at our local championships. And we are putting together an ode to Chapel Roan and Serena Carpenter.
Yeah,
that is so cute.
King Pony Club. Yeah. That's her favorite one to spin to, but now there's the "Oh mommy, you spin and sing too." So it's a side-by-side thing. So I feel like it's going to take us most of the summer to really flesh all of this out, and in the meantime, I could practice my commentary on her and her qualities. But yeah, so my gush and go is that I get to kind of go into full-time mom, wife mode and do some adventures, but while still, keeping up with everything. So
we got to see video of that when it's finished.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we will have it for you, but it's going to be long because it's the whole song. It's Pink Pony Club, Espresso, and Please, Please, Please
I
is
love it.
usually what we have together.
I love it. And I'm really going to want those judge tapes. I want to hear about the dynamic
Right.
efforts and qualities. And I just want to see where this is coming from the judge's perspective.
You got
Be
it.
sure
I
to
will make it
practice
happen.
sitting off the floor. Practice sitting off the
Yeah.
floor.
How do I sign up for that on Comp Suite? What's the group
I'll make
name?
sure you get it. I will get a transcript of it for you.
I love it. Jackie, do you have a gush and go?
Oh boy, do I.
Uh-oh.
So I'm really excited about this project I've been working on just this last month. The high school band that I work with over in Avon is like they're awesome. I've been working with them for like years and years, and they're great. But now they are starting like this mini guard, and they've done it in the past. Like an alumni would come back and teach the mini guard or something. But this year they asked me to come and actually like teach the mini guard myself, and I had no idea what I was getting into. So I was just like, yeah, I'll come teach some middle schoolers how to spin flags. And on the first day, there were no flags. And I had 2 hours with 20 middle schoolers. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So anyway, I'm really excited because we have had 4 rehearsals now. And we have put together a little sort of, I would call it a pep show, like a pep tune type of show. And they've worked really, really hard, and I'm excited. We have one more rehearsal, and then they get to perform it for all their parents and everybody who comes to like the jazz show. So I'm very excited to see like how this has kind of all come together and how I have learned to work with middle schoolers, because I've done this one time before, once, and it was like a huge ordeal because I've always taught high school, like not just high school, but like upper high school. So it's a different experience, but they're working hard, like I said. So
Middle
excited.
school's a beast. Middle school's a beast. I applaud you. I think this year I went to the middle school rehearsals twice, and I don't have it in me. Like I think I've spent a lot of time in the independent space where like I show up and be like, stand at standby, and they're like, here's my belly button. You know, like it's like, no, like can you just stand? Like I don't know, and I like at that point I just like stand it, you know, and that doesn't work for them. So like it's like, all right, if you stand at standby, I give you a candy bar. No, because now I have to bring candy every time. I applaud you for being able to work with them. Good for you. I don't have the budget to get kids gummies every time. Yeah, unless it's melatonin,
help.
maybe.
Yeah.
Can we give them melatonin? Is that possible? Is that allowed? Just wind them down a little bit. They spin a little bit slower, but it'd be, you know, it's a ballad, you know. I'm crazy. I'm sorry. Let's gush and go. Sharon, do you have a gush and go for us?
I've got a gush and go. My oldest is graduating with his music ed degree in a couple weeks and going into his age out year with Blue Devils. And so, I'm so excited for him. So he's probably going to be job searching while he's touring this summer. So, you know, I'm crossing all my fingers. Yeah. But then my baby that's marching, it's going to be his senior year. So this is a big year for our family. So, yeah. Lots of tears are coming, I'm sure.
That's really exciting.
Grandma, if he's a band director or assistant director, does that make me a band grandma? Please say no.
This is very interesting because the rehearsal I just came from was a middle school like instrument night like vibe time, and the middle school band director's mom was there like trying to help out, and she asked the same question. She's like, "Am I a band grandma? Because I've been a band mom for a while." And I was like, I almost feel like it's like a band like kind of like spiritual guide, maybe. Like I don't know. Like at this point, you're like the shaman or a guru. Like is that are we allowed like you're kind of like a medicine person now? Or you?
I'd have the senioritis is what I have. That's what yeah. So
all good. I guess my gush and go. I'm just really excited to spend time at home. I've been traveling, and we just finished up with WGI. So my gush and go is that I'm just chilling at home and I've got a couple, like I continue to say, like, I need to take more breaks and more blah, 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 but there's, the grind is real for us freelancers. I've got a couple of choreo spots open now. I talked about some drill spots last episode, and those got filled, which I appreciate. I've got like 3 choreo spots open. If anybody's looking across the nation, I do them via video, or we can come out. I can fly out and do them. But other than that, I'm just chilling and kind of getting ready for the summer for some drum corps stuff. And that's my gush and go.
Hey, it's called Gush and Go, not Gush and Stay. Let's go.
I just love the music on this on this stuff. It's so
It's
fun.
so good. It's so good.
It just feels right. Well, everybody, thank you for a great rehearsal. I can't believe we did this live. I feel like I messed up a bunch, but you know what? We're gonna make it happen. Thank you to Trish. Thank you to Jackie, Ashley. Appreciate you, Sharon. Where can we find you on your socials?
TikTok at the Band Bomb, and then the real Band Bomb on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook. So
I love that. Well, y'all, if you've got a question or a good topic to talk about, email us at onawaterbreak@gmail.com or find us on social media and DM us if you want to be on a show. We even have a form to fill out if you want to be a guest. We love having people. Well, he's gone now. Ashley, what about you?
So I shockingly do not have TikTok, but I do have Instagram, and my Instagram handle is at @DeMoreYouKnow with 3 W's.
I love that. How long have you had that?
right.
I actually just changed that. For the longest time, it was Princess Ashley Amore. But then I was like, no, we need a rebrand. So I changed it. So it's at @DeMoreYouKnow with 3 W's at the end, and you can find me there.
I love that. Well, again, I appreciate y'all being on the podcast and sharing your insights. Ashley, that 60-second tech block is going to live in infamy, and I've got so many follow-up questions, and we'll talk about that after all of this has gotten done. If you've got a question or a good topic to talk about, email us at onawaterbreakpodcast@gmail.com or find us on social media and DM us if you want to be on the show. We even have a form to fill out if you want to be a guest. We love having people on the podcast. I mean, check it out. Look at who we're hanging out with. Absolute marching band royalty. So check out that link in our social media, or you could just take out your phone, make a video, and send it to us, and maybe you'll see yourself on the podcast soon. One more thing. Don't forget we have a YouTube channel. If you're watching this live, just why aren't you subscribed already? Subscribe so you can see us all there. Also, before you close out of your podcast listening app, go subscribe, write us a review, and share this with a friend. Follow us on social media at On a Water Break, when we'll see you at next rehearsal on a water break.
The On a Water Break podcast was produced by Jeremy Williams and Christine Ream. The intro and outro music was produced by Josh Lyda. To learn more, visit lydamusic.com. And until next time, thanks for tuning in.